Hey everybody. So today I'm going to talk about mediums. We're going to talk about the fake psychics and the real, the real psychics, the fake psychics, and the difference between the real medium and a fake medium. So I had all this stuff written down on my tablet over here. So if you see me over here looking on the side, that's just because there's just so much information. It took me a while to figure out to write all this stuff down so that I can give to start and explain things to you. So if you go to a medium or a psychic and you leave out of there and you become kind of confused and it didn't make any sense to you, that's probably not a good sign. If you go, a real medium or a medium psychic will always give you validation. If they're sitting there and you're going to the psychic or medium and then they're talking these riddles like or this weird galactic stuff like, well, the third house is in the house of Mars or something kind of weird, and this is why all the energy is all backed up within you, and it just goes straight through the universe, right down through Saturn, and it just gets kind of weird. You know which the kinds I'm talking about. So those are the kinds of psychics and mediums. Just kind of watch out for. I when you guys see me do readings, I don't talk about, if it's stuff that's similar to that, but I don't go into like details about how the planets are aligned and this is what's going to happen because your planet isn't matched with Jupiter in this month. So I'm not saying that some of them are bad, but just be careful with some of them. If you're leaving out of a reading and you're confused, that's not a good thing. I think that the medium or the psychic is intended for you to be confused. So that's just kind of be careful with that. Always get validation. Validation is important. If you can't get a validation from a psychic or medium, then don't don't go to them. If you're going to a psychic or a medium and you're saying, well, I would really like to know if I can connect with my brother Chris, for instance, and and the first thing that medium will say is, oh yeah, your brother's crossed over, he's doing really good, he's telling me to let you know he's fine, and they kind of leave it like that. You didn't get no validation. When I'm talking about validation, I'm talking about that psychic or medium needs to validate what they're seeing. They need to tell you what that boy looks, what your brother looks like, what color hair he has, what is he wearing, what does he like to do when he was alive, stuff like that. They should be asking questions about what did you do, what things only you two know about that I don't know as a medium. So the medium should be doing most of the work. If they're really good and they know what they're doing, they should be doing all the work and not just making stuff up to lie to people. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys, and I'm sure some of you guys know this. There are fake mediums out there, and there are real mediums, and then there are wannabes, and then there's, the scammers, and we'll get into that later. So, I've seen plenty of the wannabes in my area. I can't say who they are because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but there are some people in my own community that continue to do this, say they're mediums or psychics, and will lie to people, convince them, and make stuff up. And I want to say something, but if I say something, then I'm going to get in trouble. So I have to be careful with that. So, so you guys have to just be on your toes when you're going to be going to a psychic or medium. And this is kind of an educational thing for all of you guys to know. Let me see here. So be careful with these psychics or mediums that will say, well, I can take off a spell, I can take off a hex. Those are key words to watch out for. Okay. Some people, I don't mess with spells. I don't do hexes. I don't take off hexes. A real medium knows that when another medium says that, there's something wrong with that because it's not right. It's what these kind of people are these ones, which these kind of people are kind of what I consider scammers. And they go onto my page on Facebook, and you'll see them. Usually after I do a video, they'll come on there, and I'll see them typing something on there like, "Hey, message me for an accurate reading," and I end up blocking them, and I end up like banning them. So be careful with these types. Don't give them information. These people are looking for credit card numbers. These are the ones that you've been warned about. So I'm not okay with those people on my page. They sneak on there. That's out of my hands because I can't control all these people that keep coming on my page that do this. So just be careful with these people. Okay? Let's see here. What else you need to know here? Be careful with the mediums that are the psychics that speak really slow. Now, these are the kind of ones you got to be careful. They're waiting for keywords. So, if you're going to a medium and they're talking like this, or oh, your mom, she's doing great. I think she liked to wear the color blue. And they're looking at you to see what your reaction is going to be. They're watching everything about you. They're watching, what your facial expression is, like, how does he know that, kind of stuff like that. These kind of people are also looking to see certain things, what you're wearing too. So if you have certain jewelry that you want to wear to a psychic or medium, like a necklace, put it under your shirt. If it's meant for that spirit to tell that medium that person's wearing that necklace or that ring, they'll say so. So don't leave it out there where a certain medium or psychic can look at that and just kind of go off with that. Say, oh, that's necklace is something that your mom used to wear. Well, yeah, because it looks older and it doesn't look like something that I would wear in this generation, if that makes sense. Or there'll be like a symbol maybe with a D on it. And the psychic will say, your mom's name starts with a D. Maybe it was Diane or Donna. And they're like, well, how did you know? Well, because you wore the necklace with the D on it. There's just certain things that a psychic or a medium can look at and start playing off of that. So be careful with that when you go into a medium. If you ever guys watch these shows like this, let's see, I'm trying to remember which one it was called. Teresa Caputo, that medium from the Long Island medium. She talks really fast. I talk fast. If you guys ever notice, I'm ADHD, but that's normal for me. I'm always talking fast. I won't sit there and talk slow to try to get words, whether off of a phone reading with you or in person reading with you. What's coming through me is coming through me. And if you ever had a phone reading with me and you're talking, that spirit might be interrupting you and saying, hold on for a minute, and then just more validation will come through. So that's another reason, always don't trust always the slow speaking mediums or psychics. That's something to be warned about right there. They're not always there for your best intention. So be careful with that. Let's see here. John Edwards also speaks kind of fast as well when he's doing his readings. So I don't know. Just kind of keep just be careful with these kind of psychics and mediums. If your gut says it's not right, it's probably not right, and it's probably fake. Go with your gut. A lot of times your gut's not going to lie. Some of these people just want money. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about anything else. They're kind of like a sociopath or psychopath that just wants money or fame. Now, because when I started doing this kind of work and I set out on my own, I've had a lot of people in this community, especially the spiritual community, play phony. They'll be nice to my face, but then they're sitting there, they're gossiping or they're hating on me, and that's fine because I have to laugh at that because there's nothing I can do. It's their circus, not mine. Yeah, it can get frustrating. I haven't heard anything like really nasty yet. I'm sure it has been said or something, but I won't let it get to me. I know who they are, and I can sense it right off of them right when I look at them. But there are some ones that are that don't like me because I do have a gift, and some of them just do cards, which is fine. But they want what I have, and I can't have it. So they'll continue to do what they're doing, and they'll allow their ego to get in the way and their hatred, and that's always going to affect their reading. So let's see what else. Okay, so if a psychic's ego-driven or a medium's ego-driven, for instance, they are not humble. They're stating the messages that are from them. Like they'll say, "Well, I'm getting a message that's saying that you're going to probably die when you're at early age, or I just know something's going to be not right." If it's kind of like an ego thing because they don't possess the power. Does that make sense? I have to go through my guides to figure out what's going on. I will never say anything's for me. I will never say this reading's for me. I'll never say this message is for me. If somebody asks me, I'll say it was from. Where do you get your messages from? I'll say I got it from my spirit guide. Now, and that's another thing I want to bring up really quick is I want you guys to always ask the readers. Sometimes if you don't know who they are, if you don't trust them, ask them where they're getting their messages from. And the reason is for that is because as a good psychic and a medium should be praying before and after reading. If they're not, they could be opening up portals unintentionally and just doing stuff. Like, if some people are not trained as a good medium or psychic, and they're opening up portals, doing seances or Ouija boards or other things like that, that can really cause some havoc. And there are people out there that do that stuff that think that they're real mediums or psychics and they don't know what they're doing. So be careful with these kind of people, because you start opening up portals, you start getting things attached to you. Let me see here. Also, just kind of watch the psychic's intent when you're doing a reading. Just kind of feel them out. You kind of know if they're there for the money or if they're really there just to help you out. Like I said, you have to just kind of feel that out a little bit. Don't feel guilty or feel bad if you have to walk out from a psychic reading or a medium, that you shouldn't have to pay for it if it's not right. But before you do that, I would suggest to talk to the psychic. Say, hey, this doesn't sound right, or my brother didn't wear that, or I don't know who that is. There are some really good mediums and psychics out there that do make mistakes, and I make mistakes all the time. And I know spirit doesn't lie. So when I'm connecting with somebody, and I'll tell people, sometimes another spirit will blend in with my reading. I won't know, and that's usually a family or a friend of somebody. So if that's the case, you have to let me know, because I would not know that. I've had somebody last week try to give me a bad review because that happened. And when I was finally able to connect with her ex-husband, for instance, she gave me a bad review. But when at the whole time during that reading, I kept asking her, "Is this legit? Is this real?" I mean, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is totally who he is." And what was going on at the beginning was her grandfather kept coming through with the hat, and he had light color hair. So when he figured out who that was, he just wanted to say hi, and so she gave me a bad review on that, even though I explained that to her prior to that reading. So. I get bad. I'll get some whack jobs on that do that stuff to me all the time, and I'm sure you guys have seen those on my page. Let's see here, but always if you always have an issue with the psychic, please talk to them first and find out what happened. I mean, maybe it's the psychic asked the wrong question. Maybe that's what usually happens. That's what happens with me. I'll ask if I'm asking spirit the question, it might be the wrong question, and I get the wrong answer, or another spirit may jump through that interrupts my reading, and I won't know that. So it's okay. I always tell people, if I make a mistake, ask me. I will go back and I will figure it out, and I'll find out what's going on with that. It's no big deal for me. But don't go behind a psychic's back and give them a bad review unless you know for sure. But if that psychic gives you, if you go to that psychic and you give that psychic a bad review for a real reason, and that psychic isn't helping you, then that's probably a good idea. Then probably give them a bad review. But try to work it out first and see what's going on. Let's see here. Spirit never works with ego. So when a psychic or medium is always talking about, I just feel that this is going to happen to you. I just know this is going to happen to you. Those kind of words like that, or and they're not talking about their spirit guide or anything. They're just saying they're just coming out. And like, where's this coming from? So these kind of psychics and mediums, when they're using their ego usually gets involved, and they're always going to have crappy readings their life. So they need to figure out what they're doing wrong and try to fix it themselves. Otherwise, they're going to get bad reviews and bad readings their whole life. If you get like a message or an email from somebody that you don't know that says that they can give you an accurate reading, that's another scam attempt. So do not respond to them. They're looking to get your credit card numbers and just to wipe your bank account out. And probably just share your name and your email to other fake people that will try to scam other people, and you too. So be careful with these people. They do try to land on my page. When I try to delete them every time I see them, when people tell me who they are. So I hope this is educational, that you guys will understand. There's the weirdos out here that will do this. Let's see here. Never trust a psychic or medium that doesn't pray. I can't say this more than enough. If you're going to a psychic or medium and they're just like, okay, we're gonna set these cards out here, and we're just gonna go and we're gonna figure out what's going on in your life, like that, and then they just go with it. I don't trust people like that, because I'll tell you the reason why. You want to know who you're getting your messages from. Who's that psychic? Who's he or she getting their messages from? If they're just blatantly just throwing the cards out there and you're not praying before that. They could be getting their messages from earthbound spirits, also known as ghosts. And I've talked about that in my previous post on this page, so if you can go back and check on that. Or they could be getting their messages from demons, and demons like to lie and deceive. And eventually, everything seems to be hunky-dory, but then there's always a price to pay later on, so you have to be careful with that stuff. So if you do go to a psychic or medium and they don't pray, it's okay to ask them to pray. Interrupt them. Say, I would like you to pray before and after. And if they're asking why, just say, because I feel comfortable that way. And if they don't, then don't sit with them. I don't trust people like that. And a lot of the psychics that know me know I don't do that. Let me see here. If you can go to a psychic or medium that's certified, that'd be perfect. There's some psychics and mediums that do get certified. Now, I'm a certified medium, and what that does is it keeps me separate from the other psychics and mediums, which means I'm certified. And as certified, I know what I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about is the class I took right here. It's a Center for Enlightenment. It's based in New York City, and it's just a spiritual development book. I still have my whole book here, and it talks about everything spiritual on here, everything. And that way, if I can always hold myself accountable, because that book, the Center for Spiritual Enlightenment, has actually been scientifically proven. So I can always hold myself accountable if something, doesn't sound right, or whatever it is. That holds me separate from them. They could be making up stuff. They could be lying to people, because they probably have no clue what they're even talking about. Even if they got an accurate reading through a spirit, they can be jumping the gun, going somewhere weird with that, and confusing you. So if you can find somebody that is certified, that's the best. Trust those kind of people. I can't say that more than enough. Find a certified psychic or medium. Or there are some really good psychics and mediums out there that are not certified, especially the seasoned ones. I call seasoned psychics and mediums. Those are the ones that have been around a long time that know. If you can find somebody like that too, that's great. So either find somebody that's seasoned or somebody that is certified. So always keep on the lookout for those. So some psychics and mediums will give a lot and ask for a little. So those are the really good ones. So those are the good ones you have to kind of watch for. So a real psychic or medium will give out a lot and then will ask for a little bit in return. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but if you guys watch me and how I do my readings, Sundays I'm always giving away free readings. Mondays on the radio here in town, I do free readings over the radio. So I'm always giving as much as I can in my free time. When I try helping people who are missing people without charging them, missing kids or loved ones without charging them. In fact, I'm still working with 4 or 5 families right now with that. So, I'm always giving and asking for a little and that kind of stuff in return. But this is a job for me, and it's a full-time job, so I have to pay my bills. So that's why I do phone readings, and that's why I do one-on-one readings, group readings, medium events and stuff like that. So that's why I'm doing this full time now, because I love this. This is my passion. So spirit guides will only explain certain things to you. If you get a reading and that psychic is saying it's set in stone, be cautious, because we all have that free will, and the future can change. Remember, it's always okay to ask and ask good questions. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I don't like doing future readings. I don't like doing fortune telling. I don't do that. When I'm connecting with your spirit guide or angel, that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting you on the right track. If you have questions, there may be some little future stuff involved, but it's basically to get you on track of what you're doing or not doing right. That's what that's about. But you got to be. Let's see here. So if somebody says, you're going to die at the age of 71, and that's just how it is. Well, there's a whole bunch of things wrong with that reading right there. First of all, who's she getting that message from? Because it sounds like an ego to me. Second of all, only God knows when we're going to die and when we're going to be born. Nobody knows that. So I feel that whoever says things like that, that's a lie. That's my opinion. Um, let's see here. And saying that it's set in stone, how does he or she know that it's set in stone? I mean, does she sit next to God and God tells her these things, or what? She doesn't know, or he doesn't know. So be careful with this stuff. There, some of these people will put things in your mind to make you believe stuff, and I won't do that. I'll just go with the flow, and I'll just give you the reading how it is. And I can't. A lot of times when I'm doing my live readings on here, I don't get validation from you guys. I just go with what the Spirit's showing me and telling me to do, and I'll just go with it and tell you guys. So that's how you can also know, a good one from there too. So if a psychic or mediums can say, well, I can get rid of a hex or I can get rid of a spell, be careful with that, because only a medium can do is give us, a medium, all we can do is give you advice. So for instance, if somebody came to me and said, Paul, I've got there's something going on with me, and I find out they have a spiritual attachment to them, for instance, I will tell that person, you need to go see a priest. Or if you're a Catholic, or if you're Native American, go see your medicine man. If you are a Protestant, ask the pastor with his congregation to lay hands on you to remove that. There's so many things with that. So be careful with that stuff. A psychic or medium cannot do that stuff. Don't trust any psychics or mediums that overcharge you. My prices have always been reasonable. And here's a thing to remember too: a psychic should always set out their prices ahead of time. And if you ever are around that time, because you see me when I'm doing my readings, after my readings, I post my prices on my page, because I'm not going to sit there and lie to somebody and try to scam somebody for more money and then get the regular price from somebody else. I won't do that. I will always have my prices the same, and I'll always let my customers know if they're going up, or if something like that happens. I'm not going to be gouging my prices. Now I know that there are, again, people in my community that have gouged their prices up, that think they're like Teresa Caputo. I think Teresa Caputo charges $200 an hour for her phone readings, and this person charges more than that. And it blew my mind when I found this out. So that's like probably $250, $275 for 1 hour. I'm like, that person's not even that big yet, but pretends to be there. So just be careful with these psychics. They don't care about you. They don't care about helping you. They're caring about that money. So if you go into a psychic or medium and you're like, well, how much for a half-hour reading? And they're saying, oh, half-hour reading is probably $175. Hell no, you don't pay for that. You just walk out. Never pay for that much overpriced psychics. Never, never, never. Let's see. Also be careful with the psychics or mediums that shame you. Let me see or judges you in a reading. That's not of the true light. If you go into a psychic or a medium and they're saying stuff like, and they kind of, some of them are like very sociopathic or narcissistic. They'll use certain words to just make you feel like, excuse me, shit, make you feel like shit when you're all done. And no, you don't pay for that, because that's, where's she getting her readings from? Is she making that crap up? Is there something wrong with her? You shouldn't have to feel like crap when you leave in a psychic or a medium, ever. When if you're going to a medium or a psychic and they're working with the light, there's always hope. There's always something positive in it. For me, I'm sorry, all my words. So I'm not the kind of person that does the doom and gloom. I won't do. It's just not my readings. My spirit guides don't do the doom and gloom. If there's like a warning that you need to know about, or if there's something you need to get checked out, your health wise, your spirit guide or angel will tell me, and they'll use their words the way that they want me to use them to tell you to be careful. What you need to do, and it's not to be fear. It's not of causing a fear. It's not of being scared. They're giving you stuff to help you. They don't, when heaven, it's not of fear. It's of love. So when they're working with me, they're using different words, and they're not going to try to scare you with stuff like that. So be careful with them. Never trust a psychic or medium that puts fear into your heart as well. That's something that's something I would kind of like be careful with. Something really not good there. Because when you're putting fear in somebody, that person that's sitting next to you, and if I'm doing a reading for somebody and I'm putting fear into that person, that energy goes out. Who's to say, if there's an earthbound spirit around here, they might attach themselves to her because there was interference, because she was open and she was scared. So be careful with these kind of psychics and mediums. There's a whole bunch of scammers and wannabes out there. Remember that your spirit guides will give you messages that you want to hear, not what you need to hear. Um, like, for instance, if I'm connecting with some lady and I'm connecting with her uncle and she's talking to her uncle, and at the end of the reading, she said everything was accurate, everything was great, but then she says, I just bought this beautiful house, Paul, and how come how come my uncle didn't say anything about it? Or I just bought a car and why didn't he bring up the color of the car? Again, spirits will give you messages that you need, not the messages that you want to hear. Same with spirit guides. And I'm kind of an upfront kind of person when you get to know me. Same with when these spirit guides, they're just upfront. And I tell people right away, if I sound like I'm being preachy, or if I sound like I'm being a parent, that's not me, that's from your spirit guide. I'm going to say it how they're saying it, because I'm not going to beat around the bush, because that's not the way it should be. It should be the way that they're saying it, should be coming out of my mouth the same way. So that way it doesn't sound like it's confusing to the reader. It doesn't sound like it's causing fear. Let me see. So when here's a really important thing too. So anytime you're online or over the phone, be careful. Do not ever give your credit card numbers or your debit card numbers out to people, especially psychics and mediums. Never. Because they'll take your credit card number or your bank account number, they'll rob you of your money, take your card, and go on a shopping spree. And then the next day or two, you get a call from your bank saying somebody's been taking money out of your account. So be careful with these people. They're scammers. A real good medium or psychic will ask for, will use Vimo, they'll use the Square, or sometimes Facebook Messenger. You can trade money on there. That way you don't see my account and I don't see your account, and it's safer that way. But never ever give anybody your credit card numbers. It's the worst thing you can do. And these slime balls, they like to do this to elderly people. They like to do it to people that don't know any better. So educate yourself and remember that. Never give your credit card numbers out, especially to psychics or mediums. They don't need to know that. If they give you, and the only time you want to give them your card number is if you're sitting across from them, if you're like doing a one-on-one reading, and that's fine because that way you can watch them, and that's no big deal. But never give them over the phone or over the computer or over your cell phone. Never. It's not good practice to be doing that. And so it's a big con game that some of these people will use to get money off of people. So just kind of on my page, at least on my Facebook, watch for the scammers. They're always on there. Like I said, if you ever see them on there, please let me know. I will do my best to try to ban them and report them. They usually send messages, then they always sound desperate. Like, I can give you an accurate reading. Something really bad sounds like something's going on in your life. If you want to message me, I'm a lot cheaper. Those are the kind of sneaks that come on my page. So, me posting this video, for instance, may not always be a good thing for me, because I probably will lose some friends, who are in the spiritual community, especially my spiritual community, when they see this, because they don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know their secrets. They want you confused. They just want to take your money. That's all they want. They want the fame. They want the notoriety, and they think they're doing it right, but they're not. So please educate yourselves, and I hope this video does help you, because this last week I've had 3 people message me saying they were talking to those scammers on my page. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, you didn't give them your number, did you? And I hope none of them did. But please, just don't fall for any of that stuff. Be on alert if you're going to another psychic or medium you're not sure about. And make sure that they pray before and after reading. Watch for price gouging. Watch for the psychics and mediums that will look for things on you or how you talk so that they can play off that reading. Watch for the slow talking mediums and psychics. Let's see what else you really need to know really quick. just be aware of some of these people. There's so many wannabes on there. There's so many fakes. There's so many oh gosh, there's everybody wants to be a medium. And I'm going to be real with so many people right now. Yeah, you can I believe you can probably develop it, but it takes a long time to develop it fully to be developed as a good medium. But usually, what happens, what I was told in my readings, is that real good mediums are picked before birth. So I was picked before my birth because I've had this gift my entire life. Even as a baby, my mom would tell me something was always entertaining me. So, people think that this is glorious. This is really cool to be a medium, and it's not always like that. In fact, I'm going to probably do another page about the pros and cons of being a medium, but it's not always what it seems to be. So that's why you see all these people wanting to be mediums, but when they take the course, or if they when they train into it, they struggle with it. They struggle with their development because they're not. It's all about first of all, they're dealing with their ego, and the second of all, they're not trusting their messages that are coming through to them, and they're always going to struggle with that. A real good medium trusts what they're given. A real good medium is born with this gift. You guys probably watched my story, my past videos about how I developed this as growing up. But I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions about any bad mediums, bad psychics, let me know. I will do my best to give you more information, whatever you got to do to get rid of them. Also, be careful with these kind of psychics or mediums that will tell you, well, if you give me $200 now, I can go take this curse or this hex off of you. And then when you come back, I need 150 more, and we'll see. It's like a 4-part series, and maybe after that 150, then you can come back another time. It's a scam. It's like a pyramid scam. So they're just going to keep taking money from you. So again, these are the worst kind of mediums. They're fakes. They're not real. Anybody can learn how to play. Anybody can learn how to do tarot cards. You buy a deck of tarot cards. You can read the directions, and it'll tell you how to do it. But again, I mean, that just helps you with your psychic abilities. But if you're going to do that, remember to pray before and after. I mean, anybody can be a psychic. Anybody, and everybody's born to be a psychic. Everybody has that psychic potential in every one of us. Not everybody is born to be a medium, a real medium. So understand that. So here's my message, and I hope it helps you guys. If you ever need me to find me, you know where to find me. I'm on Facebook. If you type in Psychic Medium Paul Casino, and if you like the page there, you'll always find me on there. I do free readings every Sunday at 7 p.m. and I'm always doing something on there. So come stop by, like my page. Also, can you please like this page and like the notification below? I need more people on this page because I don't know what my next thing I'm going to do with this page. I'm going to always keep my Facebook account and use that, but I think I'm going to be trying something different with this one. So please please like the notification on here. That would mean so much to me. Thanks, guys, and God bless.